Does look, Australia is our core market, so it's more than 90% of our business, although international markets are growing. Early days for Biome, but we are in New Zealand, the UK, Ireland, and most recently in Canada. So we're enjoying our first 6 months in the Canadian market and look forward to updating the ASX on that in due course, as it is. We have already shared is going well ahead of schedule.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Blair Norfolk. He is the managing director for Biome Australia. And Blair, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, excited to learn a bit more about the company. Tell me a little bit about Biome Australia.
Oh, look, with pleasure. So Biome Australia is one of the first global movers in the world of targeted probiotics or live biotherapeutics. So what are those? A probiotic is a living microorganism that when ingested will infer a health benefit on that patient or that host. So Biome in the probiotic space, we operate with clinically proven probiotic applications for different conditions or health concerns. So we're the first global mover in really targeted probiotics.
Yeah, talk to me a bit about that targeted part of it, because that's what really differentiates you from a lot of just probiotics you can buy. It's sort of it's like taking aspirin for anything. Tell me a bit about the targeted part of it.
Absolutely, it does. So I suppose the main US and Chinese markets are more generic food supplements. Biome Australia has a brand, Activated Probiotics. What sets it apart from anything else in the global market is the clinical trials. So Biome, with its university partners, has been able to conduct more than 20 clinical trials now on our finished products. So we have a probiotic for mental health, which has got 3 clinical trials showing it significantly reduces stress, anxiety, depressed mood, anger, all the way through to subthreshold depression. We have the world's first asthma probiotic, which is clinically proven to show it can reduce asthma events by 64%. We work in immune health, we work in skin health, in acne and eczema, and most recently in cardiovascular health via a probiotic that reduces cholesterol with 5 clinical trials behind it.
Yeah. So how, with that kind of data behind you, talk to me a bit about the markets that you want to serve. Obviously, you're Biome Australia, but I would imagine there's a lot of places around the world that you want to see some significant growth in.
Does look, Australia is our core market, so it's more than 90% of our business, although international markets are growing. Early days for Biome, but we are in New Zealand, the UK, Ireland, and most recently in Canada. So we're enjoying our first 6 months in the Canadian market and look forward to updating the ASX on that in due course, as it is. We have already shared is going well ahead of schedule. Biome's strategy is really, though, we're practitioner only. So unlike a standard retail offering in a pharmacy, we position the products as professional. We put them behind the counter. They don't require any drug registration, but it's a positioning strategy that allows us to integrate more with the pharmacist and their dispensary teams and have them actively recommend these products, which is very, very powerful, being that health professional in the white coat. If they recommend something to you, you are significantly more likely to engage with that product or purchase that product. So within that model, we see a much higher rate of sales than a more traditional generic probiotic product that would be in the front of shop in the pharmacy. Our education team will detail doctors, medical professionals, natural medicine professionals at naturopaths, and that is also 30% of our business. So those health professionals actively recommending it in clinical practice. They may send an e-script or send a patient into a pharmacy to acquire or purchase the product. But with that also comes incredible trust. So we're able to operate on a much lower marketing budget through being able to essentially recruit these key opinion leading health professionals to recommend these products as best in class and products that are really solving problems or providing solutions rather than general health and wellness.
Blair, you mentioned some of the products that you have. Is the company always continually trying to develop new areas that you think would be helped by what you're providing?
Absolutely. We have ongoing clinical research and development programs. The budget is not overly significant, though, for investors to note. A lot of this is outsourced funding. We have government grants. We have universities that support with, goods in kind for their time, which is something that we've gotten very good at, I'd say, negotiating on. But we are the probiotic experts. We're now number 2 in Australia in the community pharmacy channel in total revenue. Our Activated Probiotics is the number 1 growth brand. So how do we maintain that spot? Innovation, continual research, And rather than follow the traditional strategy that's been seen either in the probiotic or the vitamin category over the last decades globally,
Mhm.
launch new products, gain new distribution. We have significant distribution already, more than 6,500 outlets in Australia. Our strategy is to widen the use case of each product rather than just keep launching new MPD, which is going to hit our cash flow, which is going to have risks of products failing and having to be returned, which is never a good outcome for any business. So our 18 products on market right now, we continually invest in expanding their use case into new patient categories. So really growing the underlying opportunity within each product, which is, I think, a niche to Biome as well.
Yeah. And lastly, just talk to me about the rest of this year. What are some of the key things that you're looking at for the company moving forward here in 2025?
So, Australian financial year FY25, we're just about to enter our last quarter, our highest period of growth. So, our probiotic category is absolutely driven. The volume is driven by cold and flu season. Unfortunately for Australians, we are about to enter a very difficult cold and flu season, which is great news for people in health and wellness industry, I suppose, but not so much for those that are going to get sick. We're expecting a very strong close to FY25. And then we continue into the last 2 years of our Vision 27 strategic plan, where Biome has put a 3-year forecast to market of 75 to 85 million cumulative sales over 3 years. So what does that mean? That represents a 45% compound annual growth rate over the next 3 years. We're now
Mhm.
profitable, and we look forward to hopefully announcing our first year of net profit after a first half of profit for the first time in H1 FY25.
Wow, exciting times ahead, and interested to hear more about how Canada is doing as well, as a obviously a fresh market for you. So, Blair, thanks so much. Great to get an update on what you're doing, and fascinating work. And we look forward to following your story. Okay.
Look, my pleasure. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, good stuff. There's Blair Norfolk, the managing director for Biome Australia.